the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 326 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right. We're calling this one Rivalry Renewed for very obvious reasons. We're getting the band back together. We're going back to battle in a playoff match against the Seattle Sounders. What a shock that is. What a mystery. If it ain't Carson, it's going to be them, right? I mean, that seems to be it. Maybe a little bit of Portland Timbers, but yeah, those are the usual heavyweights that seem to clash in big moments. So here we go yet again. Of course, this one has all the drama since it's a one-off match at the other guy's house. It's just that much more difficult. Of course, we can't get this thing going without our partner in crime here. We've got Tony. Tony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Excited for finally the MLS is back in season with internationals done. There's been some crazy international news and events that it's great. So we can talk about that later, but excited. But it's Seattle, and who else? Well, Seattle or Carson or Portland. That's how it is.
Right. That you got to go through one of those guys to get to where you want to be. So no doubt about that. Of course, to everybody, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. A good chance to rest and reset and get ready for this second round in a way of the playoffs, right? The second stage, where it's actually one-off knockoff games. We kind of like those better anyways. A little more drama, a little more wild. I'm good with it. I'm sure most of you guys are as well. Of course, Sounders got into this. No shock. Looking pretty good playing Dallas. And looked like they were going to run through those dudes, and then it didn't happen that way. And they ended up with a 3-game series where we got out lucky in 2. Does it say anything against Seattle? No. I think it says more about Dallas and what Dallas is building and what they're turning themselves into as a club as they get better and improve upon themselves, while Seattle they're kind of peaked right at where they're at with their players they have. And so, hey, they got through, they did the job, they move on. Us, on the other hand, we were dominant, did what we needed to do in the first game. Second game, a little more dramatic, a little bit more crazy, but we still got it done, and we did review that the last episode, which brings us to this point. As for the rest of MLS, I don't think there's much of a surprise as to who's left on the East. The strongest teams are there, and pretty much all of them have more points than us. All of them have more points than Seattle and pretty much the entire West. So, of course, that means if we go all the way, we're on the road. But, hey, we got to get through this game first. I'm pretty sure you guys saw what Max Bretos said when he was talking to Sasha Kleshtin. That interview was rather interesting, where they were kind of, Kleshtin was having the winner of this series is the one to beat the eventual champion. That was his prediction. I can't say he's too far off in that, pretty strong, no doubt. I'm kind of getting that same vibe. If we can survive Seattle, we could do anything. Tony, you're probably thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah, this is going to be the biggest challenge. Again, going away, this is going to be the match that we need to get ready for. And then after that, we could honestly win the West, depending on how the other teams stack up who are facing after that. And then, of course, as I'll tell everyone, I've been saying to everyone anytime I talk to them, is be ready to be either really cold or we are going to Florida for the winter.
Dude, who doesn't want to go to Orlando, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. I gotta complain. It's the one time I don't have to pack too much, so that's okay. I'm gonna have to take people along with me. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, MLS Cup in Orlando. I don't think anybody would mind that. We've had some success in Orlando in the past. I'm just saying we've had some good games there. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Beyond that, I mean, that's really a story, right? Getting set up for this match this Sunday. I know a lot of you are on the road already. I saw guys leaving, flying. I saw the Filtro boys getting on their flights. So I know it's going to be a big group going up. Can't wait to see who shows up for that. I won't be going. I don't think Tony's going as well. So obviously we'll be hitting up watch parties in that. And of course, we'll cover you on that one as well. All right, let's just get to it. Let's make this happen. Let's talk about Seattle, of course. Looking at form on both sides, they're both good. No doubt about it. We've got no losses in our last 5 games. They've only got 1 loss in their last 5 games, and it's because of that playoff series. This is also a team that took down St. Louis, the number 1 seed in a league, of course, on the road. So, I mean, what are you going to say about that? Pretty strong there. Of course, they tied the Whitecaps. We know what it's like to tie the Whitecaps. We've had our experiences with those dudes. You can never write them off. So that's their form. That's our form. Coming into the match, you want to look at the stats. I would kind of throw those up in the air. Yes, we score more than they do, but guess what? Their defending tends to be a little bit better than ours as well. So that's the structure. Of course, they always play pretty typical in their approach. No shock there. Top players to look at. Tony, you want to go across those? You want me to fire off the top? Their top.
You can just fire off the top on that one. You have better.
All right.
Yeah.
Who stands out? Jordan Morris. What a shock. 13 goals on the season. After that, Rusnak with 7, Chu with 5, Rui Diaz with 5. Only 20 games played, though, right? Be careful there. Christian Roldan, Yamar Gomez, Eber, Ladero's got 1 as well. Assists, of course, Ladero's always the top dog. 36 matches played, 11 assists. Chu, of course, right behind him with 8. João Paulo with 6. Reagan with 4. So, again, no surprises on who's standing out for that team because they've been there forever, right? There's a few new faces, but let's be honest. Who's out there each week? Who's making the difference? It's the guys we don't like. Let's be real. They're the guys that beat us up a little bit, that have proven to always be a thorn in our side, right? Morris has always been trouble for us. Rusnak, no matter what jersey he's wearing, has been trouble for us. Rui Diaz, let's be real. When that guy is healthy and he's on, I don't want to deal with him. Our guys don't want to deal with him. But you're going to have to on the turf. And of course, for me, the guy that always stands out, the guy that always freaks me out is João Paulo. When that guy is on, it's trouble. It's going to be a hard ass to get a result when that guy is doing what he's doing. Tony, you look at those players and who's standing out. Who worries you the most?
When I look at the players, honestly, the one that, of course, is Rui Diaz is, to me, it's going to be the one that's always going to do it. But again, as we were talking earlier before the pod starts, this is probably their last hurrah, their last ride, because Seattle hasn't changed this since Clint Dempsey was on the team in that change of power.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So, but Diaz is always one of those players that you always have to watch out for, especially a thorn in my side. And then, of course, there's, as everyone knows, as everyone's seen, who's been here since day 1 or season 2 and was there for that playoff game. If you want revenge of what they did to us in the Western Conference Finals in our home stadium,
right? It's our chance to get them back. At the end of the day, this is our shot. You want to talk injuries or suspensions? Guess what? We don't have to. Since everybody's had so much time off to rest, they're good. The suspensions that we were talking about potentially didn't happen. Those guys protected themselves. They didn't get the cars. They didn't fall for it. Some got out early in that game, right? To get through. So yeah, it's on. The best on their side versus the best on our side. No excuses. The only thing that we have to talk about, of course, is playing there. Going to Lumen, right? And having to deal with that terrible field, probably terrible weather. That's always the X factor when you play against Seattle is they have that home field. They have that terrible turf. They know how to play on it. They know how to take advantage of it. The ball tends to run on us at times. Other times slow up. We don't expect it to. It's not as consistent as you would think it would be. Weather changes also affect the way it plays the ball. When you're Seattle, you're used to it. When we're there, we're not. And so you have to be very careful in your approach in these games, right? You can't get caught loose in this because otherwise you're in trouble. And that's kind of been the issue, right? When we go up there. Tony, when was the last time we went up there, man?
Last time we went up there was
won a game.
Won a game was pretty much season 1's. if I remember right, with the Diego Rossi win, and then after that, we don't win there, and they don't win here, or they don't win.
Yeah.
We don't win there, they don't win here. A couple times maybe there's been ties, but nothing out of the ordinary. The last time they've won again against us was, of course, Western Conference Final. So
Yeah. The painful one.
mhm.
And we've had our moments against them as well, right? We've had glory against these guys. You see a little target right up there that Ken gifted me from opening day. That beautiful moment when Lawrence Simon, right, did what he did. We have crazy history with this team. We have drama with this team. One thing is for certain, you're not going to be bored. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be physical. Usually both teams step up and play well in this game, unless injuries kind of decimate them. There have been a few of those games as well. We've gone up limping, but that's not it. That's not the story this time. Now it's both teams have a chance to do something. For them, it's the last hurrah. For us, it's a chance to repeat and get ourselves back into the tournaments that we want to be in, and we basically have to win to get where we want to be next year. We have no choice, right? It'll feel a little bit, we know what we want to do next season, but there was a tournament we wanted to be in next year, and you can't get there unless you do the whole thing. So Seattle stands in the way to make that happen. Let's be real. We've had some rough moments this year. It hasn't gone the way we thought it would. This is that one chance, right? You want to make your amends and make it happen? This is the match to do it. So there we go. Now, lineups. Again, it's so typical with these guys. It's not anything that's going to be shocking to you. Maybe some plug and play, right? Who gets to start, who doesn't, maybe one or two faces, but they're going to go 4-2-3-1 because it's what they always do. It never changes, right?
Yep.
This is what they like to play with because it works, right? It just works for the team that they've built. This is what they're built for. Fry will be in goal. Always good for a doozy, right? He always has those moments. We got to take advantage of those. Gomez and Reagan in the back, Roldan and Tolo as your outside defenders. That's what they did last time against Dallas. They had João Paulo and Atencio as their defensive midfielders, with Rusnak as their central attacking mid, Roldan and Leo Chu as your outside mids. Up top, Morris was their target man last game. Who came in eventually in this game, of course? Vargas came in for João Paulo. I think that was more to protect João Paulo from getting another yellow card because he was close to one, and he couldn't get one. Nico Ladero, of course, for Leo Chu. What a shock there. Why wouldn't you expect that to be the starter, right? I think if you're going to see a difference, that'll be the change, right? He didn't get the full minutes. He will this time. At least to the best of their ability, they'll get him in there. Other names that might, of course, throw out there. Of course, we didn't mention Rui Diaz. You would kind of expect him to be there. Who he replaces, though, that's the question, right? Who sits out, who goes in. Freddie Montero is always a backup for them. Kellen Rose out there. Bear is out there. You see their potential subs. It's not a shock. It's just who's the starting 11 going to be. They're kind of like us where they've got 12 or 13 starters. I would say 13 starters. And they just have to decide who they want to plug and play to match up against us. And then they go with it. But you're not going to see a big change from the way the shape will be. It's just the faces who come in. I honestly, if Rui Diaz is good to go, I have a hard time seeing him not getting into that lineup. Maybe at the expense of, say, a Rusnak. That could be the story there, because Rusnak tends to be kind of the guy they sub in the games more than start. At least we've seen that a lot from them this year, so that could happen. Tony, you're looking at this lineup. What do you think's going to happen? Who do you think's in? Who do you think's out? That's different than what I was mentioning.
I think they kind of run the same formation, or not same formation, the same lineup that he ran against Dallas.
Yeah.
Mind you, they were prepping for anything. Of course, Dallas did have some of their big names out because of injury, and then also, and they're all, again, this is the part where I do hate, and we should have had the rest better than them. But of course, with a 2-week break for international and Thanksgiving, this is what you get. So they're well rested as well. And so you can't go off the backs of like, oh, well, they're going to change this and stuff like that. They're going to go with their strongest lineup. And I feel like last game, when it was a must win, that was their strongest lineup that they can have.
I think so. I think so too. I mean, you look, honestly, their strongest lineup was probably game 1 against Dallas in terms of what they were going to do. And in that case, it was Morris, Rusnak, Roldan, Leo Chu, João Paulo, Atencio, the same. It was the same. So, yeah, that's just what we're dealing with. And it's not something to laugh at or be like, oh, it's okay, they're older. Nah, man, these guys, again, last hurrah. Nico Lodero's already said it's done for him, right? I mean, this is his last show. João Paulo, I think, also mentioned that this would be his last hurrah, which you know how he is. So they got a whole lot more to play for than just a cup, right?
Yeah, this
This
is
is their
pride.
last chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to explode this roster in a way. A lot of new faces are moving up in their organization. And so there's going to be some big changes for them. And that's just how it is. That's how it has to be. For us, I think is the bigger story. What do we do? How do we line up for this match? I think that is the biggest concern we have. Who goes up top? Who's your main guys? Um, I go to you, Tony. There's no doubt, right? We know who our goalkeeper is going to be. Max is in goal, but the center back pairing, what are you going to go with if you're Steve in this moment?
I kind of want to go with, to be honest, Murillo and Chiellini. I know it's turf, but it's like, again, this is also Chiellini's last hurrah as well. You know, the way
Yep.
he's been playing. If he's been playing on turf, which doesn't really happen with him, especially with his old legs, this is the best lineup you have to do it. And if we win this, then it's back to, grass. But that's going to
Yeah.
be my center back pairing is those who, I would put Long then if Chiellini can't play, but I don't see that happening.
I think Chiellini because of the importance of this match, and it is the last hurrah for him too. He goes. He goes as long as he can. This is the one that he'll spend it on. He did get some minutes against Vancouver, right? So
Mhm.
it's not like he never plays on turf. It's just we prefer not to use him there. But at this game in a one-off, there is no tomorrow. You can't be there and be like, well, okay, that one didn't happen. We'll see you next week. There is no next week. It's Sunday. That's it, right? There
Mhm.
is no playoff story after that if you don't get the job done. So there's no way you're going to rest somebody. Oh, we'll save him for a bigger game. No, this is the biggest game of the year. This is the only chance you get. You have to win this game, and then you worry about it afterward. So you do everything you can to get through there. Doesn't matter the cost. You got to get through this round. Whatever happens next happens next. That's life. Good, bad, injuries doesn't matter. You got to get through the day. So I think he goes. Now, outside backs, I mean, are we shocked at what we're going to see here?
Hollingshead and
Palacios,
Palacios, yeah.
Hollingshead. Yeah. We don't see it any other way. No way. Midfield, of course, the three that we have to choose from, that's gonna be the harder one. Sanchez, of course, is the given.
Mhm.
I think Acosta, of course, is a given here. Now, who else goes with them? That's the harder one. Is it gonna be Bogusz? Is it gonna be Tillman? That's the hard one. Tony, your thoughts on that?
I think I would go with Bogus. You know what I mean? Because Kellen and Ilya are the slower ones. One plays more of a defensive, one plays more offensive. But again, not the fastest of players. While Bogus can get that speed up there when they need it and move up down the wing if you need that. Tillman is more of a controlled midfielder, is the best way to say it. And I kind of want the speed up, especially with turf. This is the best way to do it. The speed's going to be king in this game.
I'm with you on Bogus as well. I think the other reason would be he's better at cycling the ball than Tillman is. And you know how Seattle goes. They'll set back deep, right?
Mhm.
When they're comfortable doing it and they want to set you up, they'll set back deep. Now, who am I more comfortable with that's going to be playing on the edge of the box, right? Going to the corner flag, going back. It's going to be Bogus, right? He just has a way of really handling the ball well and working well with who's up top. Um, I think better than Tillman. Now, if you're looking for more of a long distance pass or transition game, maybe Tillman's your better option. But in this case, there's going to be a lot of moments where pressure, let off the pressure. And now you
Mhm.
go at, and it's going to be a trade off all game. I don't think it's going to be any other way than that. So you have to have a guy that's okay to hold the ball in a tough situation. and be comfortable going deep into their area with the ball. And I think that's bogus. I do. Now, up top, I'm just going to throw it out there. Gonzalez, is he starting? Is he not starting? That is our conversation. It has to be our conversation. I'm going to predict a no, a big no on this. I'm going to basically say it's going to be Boanga, Vela, and Olvera. Why would it not be in a game like this? Tony, I go to you. Who do you see up top?
I see. I hope it's your lineup, but I see Gonzalez on top. I don't know why. It's just I feel like it's going to happen, and I'd rather be disappointed or now than earlier. But I see Gonzalez and Pistolero hopefully can do something. Maybe this is his redeem and stuff like that. But I'd rather have Oliveira on there.
Now, Oliveira's coming back from World Cup qualifying duty. I mean, what? Yeah. And he actually started and played a whole match for Uruguay. I saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does have that for him. Didn't have the best game for Uruguay, but he's a young lad. He's ready to go. It's not like he's tired. I'd say go with him. I hope. Gonzalez, yeah. I mean, I've been more frustrated than anything else this year. I get why he's had his struggles. I understand that. I don't take it as an excuse. I think he's correct in his concerns. But man, I don't. There's moments, dude. You just got to get the job done, and he hasn't done it. Credit him for getting the penalty we needed last game. He did. He was there. He wasn't positioned for that. He did protect the right way to get hacked, right? But at the same time, he could have been sent off for some nonsense. So I prefer Oliveira. You all know that. It's no shock there. I don't think Gonzalez is going to start. I just don't. I don't. I think we're going to try to go after Tolo, right? To me, he's the weak point back there for them. And so you're going to take turns on the wings going at that guy, and that's going to be the story. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll definitely throw it back to you guys in the comments because we're going to hit you guys towards the end of this episode. So it's going to be a little bit shorter today for very obvious reasons. Right. We're going to have to cover a last match. It's here, But yeah, we'll get to you guys and see what you guys think. I really am interested in hearing what the black and gold faithful think, where their lineups at. But that's kind of where I'm at in terms of the substitutions. Yeah, I think we know. No shocker there as needed. Krastev should get some minutes. The guy's so good in moments, and this would be a good one that would fit for him, I think. Yeah. So that's where we're at. Predictions. We don't do that sort of thing. We just know that, again, our odds are stacked against us because of the venue. Sounds funny. And of course, those guys who think they're destined to make their final run. That's trouble. It's a hard thing to fight against. So I guess the odds against us, yeah, definitely against us. It's not a shot against us. It's who we're playing in their home venue. They'd be having the same conversation we're having right now if this one happened to be at BMO. Then they have that conversation of, oh man, all these histories of not being successful there. It's a fortress. They'd be that same conversation. But that's how this lineups are. This is how these two teams match up. This is for me, a proper clash of the Titans at this point. This is how it should be. Yes, St. Louis was a higher seed, but experience wins the day, and it did again. So that is that. All right, Tony, before we get into comments from everybody, I actually want to take it over to community news, get some watch parties down. I know you've got like the list of lists, so I'm going to throw it over to you, man. This is going to be fun. It's a big list, probably the biggest one I've seen yet. You have the floor, sir.
All right. So, of course, they will start off with Expos. I do not know where their watch party is because I couldn't find it at the moment. I will put it in our socials. But if you do go to their watch party, they will be having their annual Boyle Heights toy drive. So if Christmas time, there are kids who are in need that are less fortunate. So if you can grab a toy, I would suggest a new one, something a kid or a girl or a boy can play with. Just grab it, drop it off there if you're going there. I know Brewers are going to be at Benny Boy Brewing, Empire Boys are, of course, going to be at Rowdy's Brewing Crew. Of course, back at Angry Horse Brewing. D9U as Mi Pueblo Viejo Restaurant. Lucky's at Lucky Baldwin's. Black Army is going to be at XOXO, formerly known as Rudy's. So it's the same venue. They just changed their name. And if you are in San Diego LAFC is at, or San Diego SD LAFC is going to be at Tap Room Beer & Co. And that is all for the watch parties. Of course, if I believe who has it? AIM, of course, our favorite nonprofit organization that gives back to the community, is doing their annual toy drive at Angel City Boxing. So if you can, they have a link for an Amazon where you can purchase. So if you can't go there and drop it off, you can always just purchase off their link in their Amazon, send it to them, as well as also, of course, the Mo Facio futsal court still needs to be built. So if you can donate whatever you can and you can do that, just go to lafc.com/Mo-Facio and donate whatever you can.
There we go. We love you, Vic. We love AIM. I know there's some kickball stuff that might be coming up soon, and I heard rumors about that. And of course, there is a watch party that's going to be at the fields that I think is already fully booked. That went out to season ticket holders as well. So that's what I heard. It's capacity. Pretty wild, man. Why would it not be? It's the faithful. It should be. So there is that. All right. If you have any other questions or you have anything you want to throw out to us and you have a watch party we did not list, send it to Tony, send it to me. We'll try to get that on socials and at least retweet it for you guys, or re-exit or whatever, repost it, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. If it's on Threads, it's on Threads. We're on there too. But we'll definitely promote your stuff, guys. I think we prefer Instagram these days, though. Not gonna lie. Way more traffic in that world. So thank you to all you guys wherever you follow us. But yeah, we'll promote you. That's for sure. All right, let's move on. Vinyl Club Minutes. I've probably done this album 3 times already, but whatever. It just seems to be the best fit. It's 30th anniversary of it. We are playing Seattle, so I'm going to go right back to Nirvana because whenever I have an excuse to do Nirvana, I'm going to go there. So Nirvana Unplugged in New York, 30th anniversary. Yeah, right? That long ago. I was a kid. How old does that make me? But hey, that would be the album I'm going to go with because I got to be honest, man. Once you hear that whole thing from before, you haven't heard it before. Yeah, that's kind of album that changes you. So straight up, check it out. It's amazing. Playing Seattle, I think that's the perfect choice. If I was gonna go for another one, I think it's 25th of In Utero, right, from Nirvana, something like that. So that's also had a big anniversary this year. So if you want to do In Utero, go for that. I'm not sure on the total years, but yeah, that one too. You cannot go wrong with those two to follow. So there you go. Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. Done. All right. Now that's what we've been waiting for. I see the comments, so I'm going to go right back to you guys. That's right. Reactions. Definitely join the conversation. We want to hear what you guys have to say, so let's get to it. I think Anthony Bermudez got the drop on this one. Yeah, there he is first. He had the question. Interesting from him at this point, since we're still playing. And he says, serious question. Do you think LAFC re-signs Carlos Vela? Tony, do you want to start with this? Or do you want me to go with this?
I'll start with it and you can add on. I think if the deal is right for less money, then we do re-sign him, or because I don't think he warrants a DP deal because he's not producing, but not the same player that he was the last time we re-signed him again for this DP. But if the money's right, I feel like he does re-sign. He's not going to really go anywhere. He likes it here in LA, as you know. You can see it all over his socials or his wife's socials. He kind of enjoys it up here.
Yeah, I think he's coming back, guys. I mean, it did feel a little bit weird on that last home game how much he spent out in the field, but that was more of what if it doesn't happen again, right? I mean, what if? So, he's got to be that way because if the numbers aren't right, the numbers aren't right? He's not going to come back. But if he comes back to the right numbers, the league's expanding to 4 DPs next year. I guess that's the rumor. I ain't confirming it, but that's the rumor. Worst kept secrets in this world. They could afford to keep him at that point. They wouldn't even have to have him in a DP, I think, at this point, and he'd still say, like Sony says, because he's happy here. Still, got to be a respectable wage. I think we'll make something happen. I really do. I'm confident no matter what happens. Now, if we win our second MLS Cup, well, then, I think that changes the whole dynamic. You got two, now what do you do, right? The bonuses kick in and it gets funky again. But, yeah, nobody's saying that's going to happen, but it could. We'll leave it at that. It's Jill says, this is the games we look for. You're right. I mean, if you're not feeling it already, I'm feeling it, Tony. I know you're feeling it. I think we've all been talking about it. I've felt it before Thanksgiving. Black Army had their Friendsgiving. I think we were talking about it there. It's on the mind. People spending their money going up there. We have a huge group going up there. I'm with you. These are the games we live for. If you can't beat the big ones, then what's the point? So let's do it. Miguel Jacobo says, what's the location in the intro of those houses? I honestly don't remember, but I know it's a play on perspective. That's why it looks the way it does. It's going to be flipped on the other side of LA. You'll be a little surprised on that one, but yeah, streetwise, I could look it up for you, man. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure exactly where it's at though, but it's pretty nice, right? Jerry, our old buddy here, old founder, he's the one that came up with that lovely picture there, and it's just too pretty to move on from. It's kind of perfect. So yeah. Dave Gomez says, hello LA from damn. There you go, from Amsterdam. I saw the shoes, man. The shoes are slick, dude. Good Black Friday pickup, dude. I dig it. Look good. Dave Gomez says Vela should be signed under the right contract, not DP. I think again they'll find a dynamic to bring him back. I think they will. And Anthony, you're right. We haven't won in Seattle since the first game. It's like some kind of weird Diego Rossi curse. Now that Diego Rossi is playing back in the league, maybe the curse is lifted. I don't know. Maybe that's how it works. He's moved on. He's hurting other teams. We shall see. Libby is on. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Libby. Thank you for jumping on. Let's see, Anthony coming with the stats. 2019 Seattle 1-1 draw. 2020 3-1, 3-0 playoffs, 3-1, 2-0, 1-1, 1-1. Draws. Well, hey, here's the deal. It's a playoffs. If you get a draw, what happens next? What? Yeah. We could win it another way. We got the soldiers for that. So someone's got to win. And can't end in a tie this time. That's for sure. Dave, I think you're right on this. He says it's going to be a tough brawl. Dude, the João Paulo versus Ilie Sanchez versus whoever can defend Ilie Sanchez story is going to be something. Again, that guy worries me, man. I wish we had a guy like that. Does what he does, but yeah, it's going to be tough, man, for sure. But you expect it. They're always bruisers. And this is what gets me, and I've told this to Tony probably a million times. They get away with murder up there. They just do. They know how to take advantage of where they're at, and they just do. Right? You always get beat up playing up there, and you have to survive and not fall for the dark arts, because that's what it's going to be. They're going to go there. We just got to hope the guys can stay healthy through the whole thing, because that's they injured one of Dallas's players, so they pretty much got away with it. So it's what they kind of do, man. It's tough. It's tough. Gomez says Vela, Bouanga, Olvera. See, there's your pick there. Anthony Bermudez says he will be at the D9U watch party. Good stuff, man. Should be fun. I know the drums will be going there, man. That's for sure. Let's see. Marvin says, from what I heard, Vela wants to stay, but there are no discussions yet. Heard you be willing to Tam. Yeah, I think that's honestly where it's going to be, guys. I'm with that, Marvin. I don't doubt that for a second. I hope that's the case. I do. I want to see him back. We love the guy. He's a legend for us. He was our first big name signing. Like, he's the guy. He's given us so much. So, yeah, we don't want that to end. That's for sure. But business is business. All right. So those are our comments, guys. Marvin did have one more. I'll throw that up there. So I think Seattle had 1 or 2 serious wins over us. Feel we've always been the better team. They're overrated, boring, and defensive. They got an easy CCL path. I wish we'd wipe the floor with them. Here's the deal, though. They still won. They still won. Like, the only reason they didn't make the playoffs last year was injuries. I mean, they kind of got decimated by it because they played a heavy schedule like we did this year, and somehow we're here. So you want to talk about strength? We're still here, beat up and all, right? That's not how their year went when they went through this crazy gauntlet, you could say. But we did. We're resilient. We're here now. So yeah, I'm with you, man. We got to take it to these guys. I will say some of those bad losses to them, we were decimated by injuries too. So we had some key players missing. I remember Vela going up lame in one of those games. I mean, right? I mean, we did have those moments too. So it's been tough. This will be a nice time to correct things for sure. And as Anthony says, vamos con todo. We got this, vamos LAFC. So there we are. Thank you guys for the comments. Y'all rock. Thank you, Marvin, for that, throwing it out there, man. Letting everybody know how it goes. So good on you guys for all that you do. Always covering us, giving us the good conversations. Next week, I'm sure we're going to have a few more at our usual time, right? It's what we do. So, right, Tony?
Please, let's have another one. That's a good one, not a bad one.
Exactly. Let's have a happy conversation with y'all next week. That's what we want to go with. I'm with that as well. All right, guys. Thank you for the comments. Let's get back into this, of course. I think we've got the news covered. I think we've got everything covered. I know it's been a short one, but that's okay. Sometimes they have to be that way, and it's better that way because you got games to watch this weekend. It's on. All right, so I'm going to throw this over to you, Tony. I know, wrapping it up this early. Yeah, we are. Final thoughts, sir.
Final thoughts is, of course, be safe at the watch parties. Drink responsible. Yeah, why can't I not say this? It's like my kryptonite at this moment. And just watch out for each other. Again, it's holiday season. It's Bam's not here for us to talk about it, but holiday season depression does hit really hard, especially people are missing their families, away from their families, not able to enjoy the holiday season with them. So just have some conversations with some friends, hit them up, relax, watch some holiday movies, or go catch a game, talk to them at the watch parties. You know what I mean? It's sometimes that's all you need to do is just check up on your friends. So remember, it's okay not to be okay, and mental health is a big thing. So we'll always be pushing that no matter what happens, through the good and the bad. It's just check up on them, and let's get this win up in Seattle and be careful up there.
That's for those traveling. Well said, Tony, man. Those traveling, do be careful. Okay. I remember from 2018 there was some stuff that went down. It could happen again, especially with the heat of the rivalry. It is still hot. It is a playoff game. They are pretty old school with some of those guys up there. So yeah, it's not a cakewalk, man. It's not like you're going in there all welcomed. It's proper. So follow the meetups, be there at the right time. Don't miss the roll call. Uh, get in and get out safely and enjoy it because it is a beautiful city and it's a lot of fun there. I wish I was going, man. I love going to Seattle. So yeah, have a good time with it. As for Bam, safe travels, my friend. He's coming back from his amazing vacation. That's why he couldn't be on with us today. A well-earned vacation. He's probably still mid-air as we speak right now, at least if you're watching the live show. But yeah, we'll hopefully get him next week. With happy news. So all love, Bam. You earned it, dude. I'm happy you got the day off. I gotta be honest, you earned it. For us crazies in the middle of a holiday weekend, you know us. It's what we do. We'll see you on Sunday if we can. If you're gonna head over to the Black Army Watch Party, the plan is for both of us to be there. As Tony sees me praying. It all works out and I get over there too. So that is that, guys. Thank you again for following. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. Let's really enjoy it on Sunday and have a good time. Be safe. And of course, you know what we're going to say, right, Tony?
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.